All right, I'll unmute you.
All right.
There we are. There you go.
Okay. I can't share my screen because the other screen shared.
All right, go for it now.
All right. There we go. Screen. Share. So my Outlook is showing here.
Yep.
So I do a lot of emailing, and one of the neat things in Outlook is these quick steps. And because I put everything in a ton of folders.
Yeah. I thought I had a lot of folders. Yeah.
Yeah, close to 1,000.
You got to stay organized, right? That's,
Yeah, it pays off.
It does.
Well, except there's a limit with Outlook that says, oh, you can only have 150 of these that I run up against. So what I do is when I want to create a new one, when I'm working a new deal, I'll create the folder and I drag it over. I'll just do a test one here and like copy it over. And so I have a hotkey that Alt-Shift-Q, create the hotkey, move it to the folder. So I'll say this. So let's say this is just H key demo. And now I keep them in alphabetical order. Otherwise, you're hunting all over.
Yeah.
Now I do all my stuff with the keystrokes. I'm not doing with the comm objects. So I'll show you the code in a minute. So it's Alt-Shift-D, which moves it down, and it's supposed to keep moving down till I let go of the key, but it's kind of random, the loop. It'll go a bunch and then stop, go a bunch and then stop.
Is it only available to go what's on the screen?
Yeah, I'll show you. So this is it here. Move it down until a key press. I say not D because I'm doing Alt-Shift-D, and I thought that would stop it. And so here's the loop. And I'm using mouse clicks, and until the key is not D, but it doesn't. I thought it would hit the bottom, and if I didn't press a key, but it goes different amounts of.
Yeah, I understand the loops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just end up pressing D several times.
Right.
Let me get this down.
Well, and how far do you want to go?
Well, I'd actually slow it down. I'm going to say, if I go cancel here.
And what is that actually doing? That menu you brought up, I didn't understand that.
Sure. So I create the hotkey, and I'll say this is H key demo. So it's going to add it to this list of my quick steps. But I like it. I want this to be my list to be alphabetized.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, let's say it was. I'll do this. New key. So this should be down the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
So I do Alt-Shift and I press the letter D and it's going. I let go of D and it goes a bunch. I press D again, it goes some. I press D again, it goes some more. So I just have to keep pressing the letter D. So it stops there. I get through my 150 of these. Oh, there we go. That's where I want, I would really kind of stop it and want it to be there.
Yeah, my initial thought is that I've run into this when I tried doing web scraping on a what do you call it, emulator for an app. So basically, like I was on a phone, and the program on that example only had what was available on the screen, in memory. And I don't know if that's what's going on, because when you run your loop, it almost, to me, looks like it goes down like however many are visible, and then it has to stop because it runs out. I don't know if that's what's going on, but that's what's popping in my head, the first thing, because
that's what it's really doing is, I say finish. So it's, what I'm doing is really clicking this down arrow key.
Right.
And I really want it to, I'm manually doing it now.
Right.
But let's see if I brought that up to the top. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. So I'm here. So if I do Alt-Shift-D, no, it went down to the B's. It did scroll it some.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Have you tried slowing it down? I'm just curious if that...
Oh, this sleep here would do that, so...
Yeah, make it exaggerated just for now. Let's eliminate it as an issue.
Let's try that. Where'd that go? Shift-D. Are you able to follow that? Oh, I didn't know if, sometimes webinars, it doesn't.
Yeah, no, we can see it. It still stopped.
Yeah.
At about the same spot, if I'm correct.
Right.
Right. Yeah, so I don't think it's the timing issue.
Right.
Does anyone else have any ideas? The only thing I would, if you were manually clicking it, there's no problem with going past where the B is, right?
Right. I'm
and it just keeps going.
Clicking it now.
Yeah, I would consider rethinking how you're looping and clicking it.
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
I mean, a few keystrokes is a lot better than all these mouse clicks.
Sure.
But I just didn't know if someone, again, this is the loop here that really is doing it. I guess I'd have to look at what these parameters are after mouse click and click. Oh, I took out mouse click and I'm just using click. Huh.
Yeah, that's odd. I don't know.
There's not a lot of logic there to troubleshoot.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, if it's not, sleeping doesn't help. So you might want to change that back.
Oh, right. I think it was 055.
Yeah.
Or it's something with the prior key. No, prior key.
Well, that was what I would do is, why don't you disable the 6432 and 6433? And that'll just drop it all the way down to the bottom, right? Theoretically, if it works.
Well, I think if it's not checking for this end of key.
Right. So it'll just keep going, right?
All right. So we'll try that.
Well, get rid of the break also.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And now if it keeps going, then at least we have an idea, right?
Well, I'll just try it from here.
Hey.
There we go. Now it won't stop.
Right. Now hopefully you have a kill somewhere that you can.
Nope. My mouse is stuck there.
Sorry, I should have asked if you have a escape button or something you can click to kill it.
I hit a. Oh.
Well, sorry, but here it's a good lesson, right, for everyone. Is always make sure you have like an escape button somewhere that you can.
Oh, yeah, I can't even kill this now.
Yeah, you're gonna have to kill the AutoHotkey script.
Yeah, but the mouse is
right.
is moving around. I could get to a DOS prompt. I was thinking if you do a kill from a command line. Yeah, I can't.
Something like control click.
I've lost the mouse.
Bummer. Sorry about that. But yeah. I think we at least put our finger on, what the issue was.
Yeah, something with that. It's getting that prior key.
Yeah. So maybe what you do is you have it continue to go down, and you have something else to say when I press, something else to make it stop.
Mm-hmm. Or another way you learn is to disable all your other hotkeys and things like that. That maybe some other program side effect. Just run it alone. See what happens.
That's a good point. Also, is you never do know. But on this one, I'd be surprised if that's the issue. But it's worth trying.
I will take the screen back because.
Sorry. Yeah.
I think I have the power off. Really, I don't.
Right.
There's a challenge. How do you?
Yeah, I think we've all at one point had that where we've locked our computers because we did something like that. And you're not quite thinking through of like, oh, I need to make sure I have a way I can kill this.
Well, I thought Windows had like a kill command, terminate or something. You'd need to know like the process ID.
Probably, right. Yeah, if you can't get to it from your mouse. Can you do CtrlAltD, delete, get up your task manager, and then that might, and it's the AutoHotkey script, right, that you want to, can you hit A?
It's stuck where the mouse is. Oh, like the letter? Oh.
Yeah, so keep hitting A, and that'll toggle you around, hopefully the different, or not.
No, it keeps going right where the mouse is. What about M? Some way to kill the mouse.
No, yeah, unfortunately you're going to have to, like you said, reboot.
Yeah, there's something you could add to list is reviewing about putting in a kill switch, reminder.
Yep. It's one of those, it's rare for me where I do something like this, but it does happen where I'm like, well, this is annoying. Why don't I just hardwire, get this thing to do this over and over? And then you're like, oh, yeah, that's why. But yeah, I think getting back to your issue, changing how you're breaking that should fix it. Breaking the down. Maybe here's what I would do. The easy way is to say instead, remove the D, remove the checking of the D, but send it to loop like 25 at a time, right? And then that way it'll jump you down 25, and then granted you're still gonna have to hit it multiple times, but
well, my thought was I would scroll it down, and then when it got near where I wanted it, I would just press a key and it would stop.
Right.
I guess I should try that functionality too. So, it's one of those things, if you could describe it, should be able to do, and it's just troubleshooting it now. Yeah,
that's right. At least we've found, again, there's something to do with that, the way it was monitoring for that other keystroke. That, I mean, why in the world that would cause that issue is beyond me, right? Mm-hmm. Why would it suddenly stop? Unless it Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know.
AutoHotkey's a virus. It took over my computer. I can't do anything. Look what it's doing.
Yeah. Can you? We can't even get to the applications tab instead of the processes, right? There's no way to. Is it maybe Control A? Ah.
Oh.
Oh, hey. Now we're really going to blow up your computer.
Oh, yeah. All
right. Well, we broke Dale's computers. Anybody else want us to break theirs?
I'm getting ready to power off. Well, although maybe I'll wait till the end of the webinar. I can still online.
Yeah. All right. I'll stop sharing just so we can, or I'll start sharing, I guess.
Oh, they said Control-Delete. Well, doesn't. Tab.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Okay. Well, sorry, Dale. But at least we're partially on the way to solving your issue. It's still, though, honestly, it's a great example of the little things, like the fact you even thought about how annoying this is that I have to keep hitting this down arrow, right? And you wanted to automate that. I love it, right? Because it's things like that like I might have done that thing for like 3 years and that never crossed my mind of like, hey, this is stupid, right? Why can't I just, have a way to speed this process?
Well, I call it like an AutoHotkey mindset. You start saying, I'm doing this repetitively. I bet I could automate it.
Yeah. Captain Odin updated his script here. It's funny because he says he feels so stupid, and this is it's everything he does is so far above me. It's comical. But let's see here.
Why did he say that?
Oh, he just rewrote his script, right? But which is, and it's also oh wait, yeah, Control-Alt-Delete should let you tab down to Task Manager, right? As someone was saying, but which he can get Task Manager. It's the problem is once you're even there, you can't highlight the specific script that's controlling his mouse button.
Right. The mouse button's just clicking over and over.
Right. So I just launched his. So anyway, sorry. Back to Cap Mode. And this was my point earlier, right? Was he cranked out this amazing thing, and then he, probably studied it for a couple of minutes and realized, wait a minute, there's, an even better way to do this. And so let's see now. Yep. So let's do a number. So I'm Cap Odin, how, so he built in the number lookups, but they're not in the array. I don't understand how he did that. I don't see it anywhere. Cap Odin, how did you code in the when I hit 4 to have it put in the $? Where is that?
There you go.
It literally just send. Oh yeah. Send to count time duration. Okay, so it's literally sending the shift and then the key, the same key that you were already pressing. That's brilliant, right? Because it's so simple. You don't have to look up anything. You're just literally sending the key, resending the key you pressed with the shift key being held down.
Nice.
And he's got, it looks like, like 6 blank lines. So he's rewritten this thing, let's say to 20 lines, and it's all like perfect. Yeah, that's awesome. Very cool. This is why I like to pay people like him for doing stuff. I'll come up with a great idea, and then I find someone that actually can do it in a way that is much more efficient and makes it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still do my own stuff, but I love watching people come up with this stuff because you're like, wow, that never would have crossed my mind, and yet that's so simple. Cool. Well, does anyone else have anything they want to share or anything they've been working on? I'll say one thing I added last week was to my Excel library. If anyone uses Excel, I might have an Excel function library, and so here's just a working case in point. So in Excel, let me start it here, and I'll show you what I first did and why I had a little hang up with it at the beginning. Was I'm just typing. Let's do the names. Name. If I could spell, date. Whoa. Oh, that's because I have his script running. Oh, I had both of them. I had it running twice apparently. Name, date, age. So name, Joe, date, February 10th, age 51. Tom, age 60. So what I wanted to do is to be able to sort by the headers, rows going left to right. And so I thought, hey, I didn't have that in my function library. So I said, you know what, let me I'm going to do the old cheating, and I'm going to record a macro. And so I'll say, okay, I'll record a macro, and then I'm going to come in here and say data sort, and then I'm going to change the options to do sort left to right instead of the columns. Sort by the first row and hit OK. And now it's sorted it for me, so great. Now I'm going to stop, and I'm going to go look at this. Actually, that's what, Alt F11, I think? Yeah. And I'm going to look at what the macro is in the macro. And so this is what was in the macro. And usually this is the way that if I don't know something in Excel with AutoHotkey, I'll come in here and I'll adapt this code to AutoHotkey's version of it with the Comm interface. There's a lot of constants in here, which is fine. You can right-click on here and say quick info. So left to right is 2. So I would put in the 2 here. And anyway, it's also using a with command, which we don't have in AutoHotkey. But this whole thing basically, Dale, we can hear you hammering your keyboard, by the way.
You can mute me.
Yeah. All right. Let me go ahead. Just it was funny, but all right. Here we go. There we go. So in my Excel library, let's do the sort by column, sort by column. There's sort by column, sort by more than one column, 2 columns, and then this is the sort by row. So this is what I thinned it down to. So it's just this one line, right? This line right here, and basically I put it into a function that I give it a handle. I say connect to that version of Excel. What range do I want to sort? So I in this case I would say A1 to C3, and then I say okay, now it's going to be, in my case, it's always going to be the header row. So I already know that row, so I'm going to pick the sort row. In what order? And I wanted to change it to where if I put an A, it'll be ascending, and if it's a D, it's descending. And so I just built those 2 things in here. If I pass it an A, first I uppercase it. Instead of making it case sensitive, I just uppercase it. I don't have to worry about it. And I give it a 1. If not, give it a 2. And this last 2 in this parameter here I'm calling, that is what tells it to do the rows, sort by rows and columns. So basically, if I wanted, I could just dump this line into my script, but I wanted it in a function so it's easier. But anyway, when I was trying to adapt this just had a lot of crap, for lack of a better way to say it, right? And I was trying to parse it all together. This underscore in VBA means it's all in one line, so this is actually the same line. And this is one of the things with a macro recorder. Same thing with any macro recorder I've ever used, whether it's AutoHotkey or VBA or whatever. It adds so much other junk that and if you don't know what you're doing, it makes it actually harder to code, when all I really needed was this little bit, right? And then I got it from, I forget, let's see who it was. Someone wrote this on the forum. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I didn't put the forum link to it. This is the actual Excel Microsoft reference, but I found it on the forum. It just took a while because I first searched it and didn't find any solutions. That was my very first thing I did, was I said, let me look in the forum and see if anyone solved this. I didn't find it the first time I looked, and then I thought, all right, I'll just use the VBA recorder. But then I said, you know what, that annoyed me. Let me go back to it. And sure enough, someone actually had answered it on the forum. And so I dumped it into my little function here, and it's super handy. So if you want to, I had, oh, by the way, so it's a couple things, just FYI. A lot of you know I have a master's in market research from University of Georgia. I actually had been asked, because I went out in live, I presented to them, teaching them how to use a little bit of AutoHotkey, but also how to write macros in SPSS, which is the statistical language I use. And they liked it so much, they asked if I could actually teach the class, and it's around 24 students, AutoHotkey, do a class on AutoHotkey for about 3 hours. So this one I did remotely. I used Zoom, and I had a session with them, and I wanted to show them hot strings and hotkeys, but because AutoHotkey is so powerful, I said, let's take 5 to 10 minutes at the beginning and demonstrate some of the other stuff you can do with AutoHotkey. So I demonstrated like web scraping and API calls and a lot of other things. And so what was really cool was they're like, well, we have this one project we're doing for a client, and it's doing they're manually logging into a website and grabbing data and then having to put it into, export it as a spreadsheet and then do all this work. And so I said, yeah, I can help you with that. And so 5 students had worked in this thing for, I think they said 3 months. And in like 2 hours, they said that in 2 hours, I did more work than all 5 of the students did in 3 months, just because I automated the whole process. And actually, so I did that, and just I'm sharing this with you guys is that the program leader for University of Georgia actually asked if I could be on the board, the advisory board for the program, as an IT person. So now I'm on the advisory board, all because I've been doing stuff with AutoHotkey. So it's just an example of how, by knowing how to program, you can be surprised at knowing AutoHotkey can help get you. It's not a job, but it'll look good on my resume if I ever care to update my resume. But also that actually, there is an interest in it also. So some people are wanting to learn how to automate and to do more. But does anyone else have anything to share? Anything they want to play with? Are we done? I think we're good. I think actually, John, did you say you could do the next webinar on the nested loop? I can't remember if you said it was if you could do the next one. But I think we got a couple in a row where we can have a theme, have an actual plan, and a topic to cover. Recursion. I can prepare some for next month. Okay. Recursively and file system. Awesome. One new message. Jump down to the bottom. Yes, on recursion. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, I was stoked. It's cool. I got to travel out there now twice a year, but that's good. I'll be more in touch with the students and do so. The great thing though is for me I was asked to be on it because of an IT background, not because of my research background. The vast majority of everybody on that board is a researcher, which of course I am, but I no longer care to actually do research. So I'll have a different strength. And you know, I think a lot of the people that are on the board, they're C-level people, and when we start seeing what we can do, we can automate. They might want me to do work, which of course I'll mostly outsource and hire people to do or something, but or I'll teach them, right? I don't mind teaching. I just don't want to actually do the coding myself. It's not something that I really enjoy doing. I love to teach, but not to actually do the coding. All right, well, SD card broke. If we're done, then I will reinstall my Raspberry Pi OS since the SD card broke. Bummer, man. Catmona, what are you doing with your Raspberry Pi? I've got one somewhere, and I tinkered with it, but I never actually used it for anything. I know there's some cool different things you can use them for. I think a print server is one of them, right? But it's pretty cool, some of the little stuff you can do to automate. And thanks for cranking out that Dale's example. That was a great live example of how easy something can be rewritten, and actually even that you did it twice, right? And rethought it. Oh, cool. That's awesome. He's going to use it in his thesis. That's great. Cool. Well, thanks to everyone for showing up. Next month, Jean will cover recursive looping, which is a much. I don't think it's not an advanced topic yet. It can be tricky when you start getting into it and troubleshooting it. But I'm sure he'll do a great job with it. And looking forward to seeing you guys. Thanks again. Have a great evening. Yeah, John, you will. You always do. Thanks, everyone. You guys have a great night.